Today, I'm going to be showing you some tips and combos for Rumble VR. Now, I'm not claiming to be the best at Rumble VR, but I do have a pretty good number of hours in the game, and I've seen enough new and experienced players alike fail in certain ways that I think I can help you prevent. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see beginner players making is putting a ton of effort and force into their different poses. Their thinking behind this is understandable, you know. They're like, oh, I just got an earth-bending VR game. I need to be really like punching the rocks in front of me really hard to make them go far. But the game doesn't care how much force I put into a punch. It just cares about where my hands are. So by doing your poses more controllably and slowly, you'll be saving a lot of energy and you'll be making your poses more consistent so that you can hit them more often. Another big mistake I see a lot of players making is not utilizing this practice area. This area isn't only a place for learning how to do the new moves, it's also a place for practicing what you've already learned so that you can be more consistent at it. If you're in a game and you start to realize like, oh shoot, I don't remember how to do this move, then you can always just come back here and practice that move a few times and really start to get the hang of it again. You have no idea how much in-game I will see people just doing the same movement over and over, trying to get a move to work, and they're just doing it slightly wrong. Like maybe they have their hand rotated the wrong way. If they would just come back here and practice that move, they wouldn't be having those problems. One little trick I've found that can actually help you improve the consistency of your moves is to configure your player correctly. And you may think that you want to do exactly what it's saying to do, and for some people that might be true, but for me personally, I actually like to extend my hands all the way, like it shows there, and then bring them in just a little bit, and then set my height there. That will help you when you're making your moves, so that you can be a little sloppier, and you don't always have to fully extend, because it will think that that is actually the full length of your arm. Next up on our list of tips is to really understand your opponent's strategy. If you see your opponent always doing the same 4 moves over and over and over again, you should be able to counteract them and know, like, if they spawn a pillar right here, this is what they're going to be doing next, and this is how I have to defend against it. And once you start really being able to do that, you can adapt a lot quicker to new opponents that you meet. Going right along with this, you also want to be wary of your own strategies. So you don't want to be the dude that is only using the same 4 moves over and over again. If you notice yourself start to do that, mix it up a little bit. Like, use some new moves that you haven't used in a while, and it'll throw your opponent off, and you're more likely to catch them off guard. The next tip I have is that you want to be utilizing the game's movement mechanics. Rumble is a game where you don't have a very high base movement speed, and so it's really easy to just stay in the same spot for a pretty long time. But this can be really easy for your opponent to attack against, because they always know where you're going to be. And so the players I go against who are really good at the game will be using the game's movement mechanics really, really often to be gaining the edge on their opponent. And if you're not a high enough belt to have the dash and jump abilities, you can still be using the sprint mobility, which is where you swing your arms like you're running, and you can really get going pretty fast with it. And so it can still be really helpful even if you aren't able to dash and jump over your opponent's attacks. The final tip I have before I start to get into different combos is that you want to pay attention to your enemy's health bar. If you notice that they're starting to get really low on health, you know that you don't have to be throwing your really big moves at them anymore. There's no point. If they only have one little bar of health left, you can straight up just hit them with one disc, and that will be enough to kill them. So really pay attention to how much health the enemy has left, and you can kind of cater your moveset towards that. Next up, we're going to be talking about some of the combos that can help you gain the advantage on your opponent in this game. Rumble isn't just a game about learning the different moves and using them just on their own. It's also about learning how to combine these moves into really effective ways that can both surprise your opponent and help you gain the advantage. One extra little tip for a lot of these combos is that you generally want to be walking forward while you're doing them so that you can stay within range of the object. The first combo I have for you guys is what I call the bullet. This is one of the most useful combos in the game, and you can use it even if you're only a white belt, so I'd recommend learning it early on because it really is just like an essential combo for you to know. The bullet is a mix of disc and straight. And so if you do them quickly together, then it will launch the disc really, really far, much further than it would if you just did a normal disc. The second combo up is what I call a spike. The spike is a move where you first summon a pillar and then uppercut and kick it really quickly to send the pillar flipping over the enemy's defenses. So for instance, if your enemy had a wall up in front of you, you could use the spike. So pillar, uppercut, kick, and your pillar goes straight over their wall. Third on our list is the tabletop. The tabletop is a move where you spawn a wall, then uppercut, kick, and straight in rapid succession, which will send a table flying at your enemy. This one is really useful because it rotates the wall horizontally so that it's much harder for the enemy to block. Fourth up is the exploding ball. The exploding ball is pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is spawn a ball, use explode, and punch it at your enemy's defenses. This can be really useful if your opponent is spamming walls and you can't get any of your discs or balls past their defenses. Now moving on to the silent slider. This is a move where you spawn a disc, then stomp it really quickly so that you have a grounded disc, and then you can punch it straight under your enemy's defenses. This can be really useful if your opponent likes to throw walls a lot, so they'll kick it up and then grab it, and this leaves you a perfect gap to hit them with a silent slider. Next up is the long boulder. The long boulder is a move where you spawn a ball, parry it, then quickly kick and punch the boulder, and this allows it to go much further than a normal just straight on punch will do. This can be really useful if there's a lot of walls on the field, or if you're really low on health and you need to hide behind something while still attacking your opponent. Last on this list of combos is something I like to call the dashing wall. This is a move where you spawn a wall in front of you, pick it up, and then just dash straight at your opponent. This can be really fun if your enemy doesn't have any defenses in front of them for whatever reason. But obviously, it can also backfire in a lot of ways. So it's kind of just a fun move that may not be the most effective, but can be really fun if you pull it off. Now I'm going to leave you guys off with some footage of some matches I played recently, and you can kind of see how I use these different combos and make up my own combos on the spot.
Good ending. No. No, what?